Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at the Indian life and religion. So, when we look at the life of a people and the religion of a people, it's known as their way of life or their religion or their culture. So, that's what we're going to dive right into. And make sure you have your notes ready to go so that we can keep going. I'm going to go relatively quick because this is a very long presentation and I don't want to bore you to death. So let's start it off with the Aryan civilization entering India in 1500, going to 500 BCE. Again, that's before the Common Era. So that's the reason why it goes down in dates. Okay, so the Aryans, let's talk about them. They're an Indo-European people, which means they came through from Europe into India. They migrated to India through the Khyber Pass, which is that low level of mountainous areas in the Himalayas, and they blended their beliefs with native beliefs. All right, their beliefs with the people that have already been there. So here's just a shot of that. That's the Khyber Pass and the path of the Indo-Aryan invasion. There's another view of it coming through. Now remember, this is all mountains through here. All right, here's another view of the Hindu Kush Mountains coming through. Here's the Khyber Pass again. Noticing that the geography has a great deal to do with how history happens, as you can see. So now let's talk about religion. Religion in India were polytheistic, which means they are more than one god. The ideas will evolve into what's known as Hinduism and Buddhism. The mystics were people who devote their lives to seeking spiritual truth, and eventually Hinduism and Buddhism is going to carry the torch for how that takes place. A little bit of writing. They were into Sanskrit writing, developed by 500 BC. Remember, writing is a very difficult thing to do. You know, priests are going to be the educators, so they write down the Vedas, the prayers, and the hymns with the religious teachings. And we're going to talk about this with when we get into Hinduism. Here's some examples of some of the Sanskrit that were were created by the Aryans. The Aryans were the nobles, which means that they were the top chain. They were the top 1%. They called Native Americans Dravidians because they didn't feel that they were worthy. All right, they developed a social system called the caste. The caste system is a hierarchy of sorts, and I'll show you that in a second. A Varna is the caste system, the caste or the social caste or level. All right, and the same caste for life. All right, based on your daily actions. Okay, this is the caste system itself. It's in the form or the shape of a pyramid. If you notice, the pyramid goes down underneath here. That's separate from that. So you got the Brahmins at the top, which are the the Aryans, the Kshatriyas, all right, which is underneath. You got the Vaisyaras, the Sudras, and the Untouchables. Okay, the castes are divided by occupation. The Brahmins were the priests. Okay, the Kshatriyas were the warriors. Vaishyas were the herders or farmers, artisans, merchants. Merchants were business people. Okay, Sudras were the Dravidians or the non-Aryans, the laborers and the servants. You're going to see this type of caste system in the encomienda system when we get into world history too. Pariahs were outside Varnas. They were outside the realm of even the actual pyramid. They weren't even worthy to be on there. These are the untouchables. They were given very impure jobs. All right, the Varnas are going to decide their marriage, their job, their neighborhood. There's no mobility. They can't move around. Okay, so it was a pretty tough system for them. Okay? Okay, moving into Hinduism. Hinduism was formed as Aryan and native ideas were blended together. The holy books included the Vedas and the Upanishads, the interpretation of the Vedas. The gods are concrete forms of the Brahman, or the world soul that contains and unites all Atmans, or the personal soul. The Sansara, which is reincarnation, the rebirth of the soul. These are just vocabulary words that you need to know. The Dharma, which is duty. Karma, how you live this life determines what you will be in the next. Okay, I do say having karma is a B word. And you got good and bad actions that will fulfill your dharma. The Mashka is the goal. The soul breaks free of the material world. All right, the reincarnation process stops and you unite with Brahman in nirvana. All right, they use the caste system with the dharma and karma and the moksha, the way you live your life is how you go up in the pyramid of that life. Okay. Here's a picture of this world. All right. And looking here is just a look and saying, the people are reincarnated into something. It could be anything. They believe, maybe it could be wild animals. It could be thieves. It could be kings. It could be whatever. Okay. But that's the reason why this cartoon is here. All right. The ahimsa is nonviolence. That's what they believe in. All right. Ahimsa is nonviolence. All right. You pray. You perform religious rituals. You're in self-denial, the rejection of worldly possessions, which means you don't have any. All right. And their holy river, all right, is the Ganges. And if you ever wanted to read some really interesting articles about the Ganges, feel free to look at what the Ganges River has to offer in India today. You'll be quite shocked at what you might see. Here's a picture of people going into the Ganges River. Okay. Again, just it's a holy place. Important gods are Brahma, which is the creator, the Vishnu, which is the preserver, Shiva is the destroyer. Different forms of one god. That's how you can tell it's a polytheistic type of god. Okay, here's Brahma and Vishnu. You don't have to recognize them per se, but just know who they are. You got Shiva. Now, Buddhism is a little different. It's founded by Siddhartha Gautama, which is the enlightened one, the Buddha. All right, not really a religion, but it's more of a way of life. All right, he did not agree with the Hindu caste system, so he separated from Hinduism to find this enlightenment. All right, in present-day Nepal, Tibet, and Southeast Asia. So you can see geographically how it's going to be tough. All right, and their holy book is called the Tripitaka. All right, here is India. All right, you got Nepal, Pakistan. All right, all these different areas, Bangladesh. All right, all these different areas are part of Buddhism, and here in China is eventually where Buddhism is going to connect. So you're going to see some conflict here at some point between those two religions. Siddhartha was a Hindu prince. All right, Bodhi tree, where Buddha is said to have received enlightenment. All right, Buddhism, the goal is nirvana, the freedom from cycle of reincarnation, that reaching that enlightenment, or it's possible in this lifetime, not in many. Anybody can achieve nirvana because of the lack of the caste system, rejection of that caste system. They notice the wheel of life, all right? That lotus, the wheel of life, and you surround yourself with that. In the middle way, the proper way of living is neither extreme. It's dharma, it's reincarnation, karma, and the four noble truths, along with the eightfold path, which will equal that nirvana. Okay, all life is suffering. Everyone suffers and knows sorrow. We suffer because our desires bind us to the cycle of rebirth. Okay? We can end our suffering by eliminating our desires. All right, we can eliminate our desires by following the eightfold path. Knowing the truth, resist evil, say nothing to hurt others, respect life, work for the good of others, free your mind of evil, control your thoughts, and practice meditation. Again, you can go back and fill these in your notes after you're finished. All right, becomes a prominent religion during the Mauryan Empire. All right, Asaka sent missionaries throughout Asia, Sri Lanka, Central Asia, and East Asia. Okay, so you can see from this map, this is the lower right-hand side of the Earth. So you've got India, Burma, Southeast Asia, the Malay Peninsula, Borneo. All of these are, this area here is the Pacific Rim. We're going to go through that later. But India is that subcontinent that's surrounded on three sides by water. All right, the Grand Buddha in China. This is Buddha's footprints. Okay, so everything has its purpose there. So in China, okay, China is going to become Buddhist, and so is parts of the northern part of India, Burma, and Southeast Asia.